Welcome to Defeat Your Cravings, hosted by Dr. Glenn Livingston, PhD. Glenn has held his doctorate in psychology for more than 30 years and is also a former multi-million-dollar consultant to the big food industry and uses his experience to help you defeat your cravings. This show will help you to focus on dramatically reducing cravings and leave the diet mentality behind, so you can more easily and effortlessly achieve your health, fitness, and body composition goals. Please remember, no doctor-patient relationship is created via this show, and you are responsible for confirming any changes to your diet, health, or psychological routines with an appropriately licensed professional before implementing them. Now, before we get started, if you haven't yet downloaded the free smartphone app to access dozens of these recordings all in one place, as well as to avail yourself of a confidential community for support, motivation, and assistance, please visit the podcast link on defeatyourcravings.com as soon as possible. And now, here's your host, Dr. Glenn Livingston.
Hey, it is the very good Dr. Glenn Livingston with defeatyourcravings.com, and I'm here with
Dr. Howie Jacobson from AskHowie.com.
We're both the PhD types, not the medical doctor types. Howie, I read something. I actually saw it on Facebook, and I can't track down who the quote is from. It might be one of those things that just floats around and nobody really knows. So if anybody knows who's listening, I really want to know so we can give them credit. But essentially the quote was, you don't mind dying because you love what's killing you. You don't mind dying because you love what's killing you. It's haunting, right?
Yeah.
I thought to myself, that's the ultimate squeal. That's the ultimate food monster shriek. It's trying to convince you that it doesn't matter what happens to you. It doesn't matter if it kills you or disables you or makes you incapable of being there for your kids or your wife or your parents. You just love it so much that you don't mind dying for it. You know, the trick for me is to remember that that's what my food monster wants. That's not what I want. I very much mind dying. I very much want to live. But there's this part of me that will always not care. There's a part of me that will always run towards the biggest pile of junk food that I could find, no matter what it does to me. And when I know that that's not me, then I can keep that part in a cage and take care of myself and live a very full and vibrant life. If you think that it's you, if you let that squeal convince you that you really don't mind dying because you love what's killing you, then you're in trouble. So the separation is really important for me there. What do you think?
Wow, that hit me really hard because I just read this quote that I saved in my collection, and it's by Tatanka Iotanka, Sitting Bull. And he says, for us, warriors are not what you think of as warriors. The warrior is not someone who fights because no one has the right to take another life. The warrior for us is one who sacrifices himself for the good of others. His task is to take care of the elderly, the defenseless, those who cannot provide for themselves, and above all, the children, the future of humanity. And I like that squeal is like, you don't mind dying is almost a perverse, toxic echo of the warrior. Like you're willing to die for something, but not for the good of others or for your legacy or for the future. And you're not even willing to live for those things.
For 18 minutes of pleasure.
Yeah. Doesn't take me that long to eat a box of Oreos, by the way. 18 minutes would be like mindful eating.
The sugar high lasts 18 to 32 minutes unless you chase it with more.
Oh, okay.
I could eat a box of Oreos in faster than 18 minutes also. I could definitely do that. Yeah. So it's a perversion of the warrior spirit, right?
Yeah.
One of the things I got from Jack Trimpey was that addiction was a perversion of the survival impulses. It's like they'd been hijacked and they're making a biological error. It thinks that potato chips are what we need to survive. It will fight for them with a warrior spirit. And that's the nature of the conflict that we're facing. And I think it's important to remember that. We all live astride of an earlier animal brain. And it's our responsibility as civil human beings to restrain it and channel it into healthier aims. Well, the bulk of society tries to get us to slowly kill ourselves with food and everything else.
Yeah. And realizing that your survival instinct does have a warrior spirit. Don't carry a water pistol into a gunfight.
Yes. Don't go into a battle with a plastic helmet. Yes, exactly. There's a good side of that, though, because your survival drive can keep you alive with a warrior spirit also when you direct it in the right direction. The fact that you can be so obsessed with a bag of potato chips or a box of Oreos means that you could be equally obsessed with something that's good for you. You could be equally obsessed with a cause or fighting for a reason.
Yeah, it's yours. It's your power. The addiction that you think of as rendering you helpless or feeble or trapped is actually your own power, just being directed or undirected by your higher mind.
Exactly.
And that brings us to the end of today's broadcast of Defeat Your Cravings, hosted by Dr. Glenn Livingston. Now, if you'd like to find out more about the products and services Dr. Glenn offers to help you dramatically reduce your cravings and stop overeating in 90 days or less, please visit defeatyourcravingscoaching.com. That's defeatyourcravingscoaching.com. Thanks.